This week on Sign Dawgs. The Sign Dawgs are out at Riverside Kennel in Dallas, Texas. How will the Sign Dawgs do around all these dogs? And it's time to install the router table and build a housing for the vacuum motor that has to sit outside. All this and more on this episode of Sign Dawgs. Every day we look at signs. Some are beautiful, others not so much. For a business, any business, a good sign is crucial. So where does a good sign come from? Who creates these tantalizing works of art? In the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, it's done right here by the people at Signs Manufacturing, the people we call the Sign Dawgs.
Hello, my name is Suzette. I'm the owner and founder of Riverside Kennel here. We opened in 2005. We've been going strong ever since then. We opened as a dog boarding facility and we've added doggy daycare. And I'm about to upgrade the facility. We're going to do a facelift and I'm getting a new sign. That sign has been there for 13 years and signs are kind of funny. You've got to be permitted with the city. They've got to be a certain size and this and that and the other. So I'm very excited about the sign we're getting. It's going to actually tell what we do because although we're right here by the freeway and right here by these busy streets, people don't really know what we do here. They mostly think we are a dog shelter. We're not a shelter. We're a boarding facility and doggy daycare. So the sign is going to read Riverside Kennel Pet Resort because it really is what we are. We have a lot of space to get the dogs out, to run around and have fun, which is what dogs like and need to do. And so we're adding a splash pad, puppy puddle. It's going to really be a complete makeover of Riverside Kennel.
I'm just trying to locate my equipment somewhere where I can work because as you see they got too many wires out there, so I gotta find the right place for us, so they probably help us to do that.
All right.
Talk to your neighbors out there and see if they let us park our cranes on that side over there.
They don't own that property.
They not, because
they rent just like the guy across the street.
yeah, because somebody already tell me you cannot park over there because if you park over there, you're probably gonna have to move because this truck's coming and this and that. But they got plenty of space for truck to go there.
You can park right there.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
so,
see, I got a gate back there if you need to get in that gate.
yeah, maybe later I'm gonna have to.
But you can park right there. It's a public street. He can't
Right
tell
here?
you that you can't.
Okay. So then probably the spot that we're gonna pick to work because those wires right there,
Yeah.
we cannot do too much
Right.
with the crane. So
Yeah.
already they work.
Yeah, thank you.
I was a farmer. My dad used to have horses, cows, chickens. So that's where I learned all this. And then in the long run, when I worked for sign companies, I use all that. So everything I learned when I was little, I'm using it right now. And I don't even know that I was gonna use it. So now, I'm using everything.
Riverside Kennel's new sign is carefully hoisted to the roof. It's a particularly windy day, so the Sign Dawgs are using rope to try and control the sign and stop it from swinging around wildly. Once it's over the top of the roof, the Sign Dawgs spring into action and take hold of the sign to guide it into its new home. With the new sign on the roof, the Sign Dawgs begin to pull off the old sign. They set it aside and quickly get to work on securing the new one.
So we've had a Multicam machine for 30 years. The machine has done a really, really good job for us. We depend on it. Virtually everything that we do at some point or another goes through that machine. We're starting to have problems getting parts. And because we're so dependent on the thing, I just can't run that risk. And so I've decided to get a second one.
It's time. It's finally here. The brand new table from Multicam has arrived. It's slowly brought into the building so that this massive new table doesn't tip over and hurt anyone or get damaged. Once inside and unwrapped partially, it's lifted off the trailer using 2 forklifts. Then, it's placed onto 4 moving dollies and slowly hand-pushed into place. The table is so heavy, it takes 8 of the Sign Dawgs to do the job safely. Once in place, a forklift is needed to lift it off the dollies and set it in place in its new home next to its older brother who hasn't moved for 30 years. Then Pito begins to build a foundation for the new vacuum pump motor. He's placing and welding in steel reinforcement to create a concrete pad to mount the motor to.
All right, what we're going to be building today is a little storage unit for our motor for our new router. What we're going to be using 1.5-inch square tube for our framing, 1.5 by 1.5 by 3/16 in thickness. We're going to be using some steel mesh so nothing can come into our cage. And for our lid, for our top, we're going to be using some corrugated metal for the roof. We're going to be using some aluminum flanges that we're going to be bending so we can have some airflow so the motor doesn't get hot.
The Sign Dawgs have had the table set up for a few days and they're getting more and more curious about the new table. Roddy Santa, a rep from Multicam, comes in to finish hooking the table up to its computer and show the Sign Dawgs how to operate this state-of-the-art table. He runs the guys through some of the simple functions, then fine-tunes the table and assembles the rest of it before giving them an in-depth demonstration of how it works. Then the Sign Dawgs clean it up and give the table its first actual test run. With all the new added features, the Sign Dawgs have stepped into the future of sign creation, all thanks to Multicam.
Well, we got the new router in. It's all set up, all hooked up and all working. And it's probably about 5 times faster than the old router. So production time will be sped up dramatically. And basically does about the same cutting ability as the old router, except it's a lot faster. And probably has a few more bells and whistles I don't know about. But that thing makes a nice cut.
We gotta add these right here, so because this is top heavy, we don't want to just leave it in the wind shaking like that. You see it shakes, so we're gonna attach something, kind of like this old sign here has. We screw it pretty good in the front and the brake. We still want to make sure that put more weights up there, so that way we make sure the sign ain't gonna go nowhere, and we be good doing that. The electric part, we're gonna hook it up on the existing electrical they got here. So we just have to drill one hole over there in the back of the raceway and set the box over there they got up there with electrical, and then we hook up our sign. And we'll be good there. I'm gonna glue silicone, the screws inside of the raceway just in case, which is, I know it's okay the way we got it, but if we silicone this right here, we make sure that everything be better, you know, so that's why we're doing it. As you know, they call me the silicone guy.
Well, if you want something siliconed up to a wall, you definitely have Hector do it because that boy can work magic with silicone. We put up a Hawk Electronics up in Louisville one time, and our original signs got changed out with some newer ones, and the sign company that Hector's working for installed them. And so then they were closing that location down, and me and another guy went up there to pull the signs down, and literally one of the raceways, I had all the bolts out, and I was prying on it, couldn't get it to come loose from the wall. So I finally strapped the raceway to the bucket, used the crane to try to swing away from it to pull it loose from the wall, and I ripped the front of the raceway off the structure. So part of the raceway was still stuck to the wall with silicone. I literally tore all the pop rivets and screws out of the thing, tearing it apart, and the silicone still held. So finally I got a crowbar, was able to pry the back off, and didn't know it at the time, but Hector came back to work here, and I was like, "Hey Hector, did you put up that new set of Hawk Electronics up there in Louisville?" He said, "Yeah, I put those up." And I'm like, I kind of knew that because I tore the sign apart trying to get it off the wall because you silicone the hell out of it. So yeah, silicone sticks pretty good too when it's applied properly.
Yeah, we put concrete boards on the frame so we can lay the concrete bags because that way they last forever there. So
why didn't you just drill into the ceiling?
I didn't drill through the roof because they got a special roof up there, which is too expensive. They afraid they're gonna have leaks. But you know, the way we got it, it worked pretty good.
Wind is the Sign Dawgs' worst enemy. Yeah. And wind can really mess up a job. Can prevent us from putting stuff up. The wind's too high. We don't mind it. It feels good on us.
Back at the kennel, the Sign Dawgs take the old tired sign down from the roof and secure it snugly onto the truck to take it back for recycling. Some finishing touches are made to the electrical parts of the new sign, and the sign is now complete.
So this is the first day that the sign's gone up. It looks great. I really like it. People that will see the sign now from the freeway and the roadway here will know exactly what we do here, because before they really haven't known. I mean, well, our customers know, but people drive by all the time and say, "What do y'all do here? Are you a shelter or this or that?" So Riverside Kennel Pet Resort kind of tells, just from reading the sign, people know what we do. So I'm very pleased. It's been great working with Signs Manufacturing. Everything has gone smoothly. I think I got the best made sign. I mean, they make great products. Like I said, I toured the plant and, you know, watched them do it. So super pleased. See what it looks like at night, but I'm sure it's going to be fabulous. I'm really excited.
I don't speak dog language, Holmes.